Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to install and run a Mysterium node on a Linux. Currently we do provide two different approaches on how to make it. So the first one is native install and the second one is installation script. So native install covers three different steps. So first of all, you have to add the repository of personal package archive of Mysterium Network node. Then you will have to run separate command to update your system, and the third command would be to execute the installation. Using installation script is a bit easier way, since you will have just to copy paste the command which is provided in our docs, and it will do everything for you under the hood. So since those two approaches shares the similar output, we'll be using just one for demonstration. So I will show how to install it using a native install. Yep, so it's now going through the packages and reading them. Now we update the system. And we install the Mysterium node. Yes. Okay, so during the installation process, you are presented to the screen of terms of use, agree terms and conditions. So you can read them carefully, and if you agree, press Tab and then Enter to confirm it. Yes. So it's currently unpacking, setting up, and installing the Mysterium latest stable node release, which is currently 0.47.1. So once installation process is finished, we can do a post-installation service check. So for that, you have to use this command, and this command will show you the status of your node. So as you can see, the node is currently active, it's running, and it's running 22 seconds ago. It also do provide some additional information such as main PID, tasks, memory limit, and also you can find your identity ID. Another way to find your identity ID is actually with the use of Mysterium CLI. Mysterium CLI is a command line tool which allows you to interact with a node. You can see a list of commands of Mysterium CLI by use of help. In order to get a list of currently available identities, you can type identities list. Since we don't created any additional identities, it lists just one, which is your provider ID, and you can get more information about this ID by simply typing identities get and typing your identity ID. So it will provide you additional information such as registration status. As we can see, it's currently unregistered because we still didn't go through the onboarding process. It also do provide channel address, balance, earnings, and earnings in total. The second step is actually to onboard your node. So we will go through onboarding process. But before we'll go through onboarding process, we have to find out the way how to access your node UI. So there are different ways how to access your node UI in the browser. You can find them all on the documentation. It's described in details. In my case, I'm using a virtual private server with pre-configured Ubuntu machine, and my virtual private server is offering a public IP address, which does mean that I can access it directly by typing it in the browser's address bar and specifying the port which is currently exposed to be accessible. So in this case, I will copy paste my IP address and define the port, which is 4449 in this case, which is a default port to access your Node UI. Yep, so I'm presented with the welcome Node runner screen where I can set up it. So I will start my Node setup. First thing first, I'll be setting a service price. So I can select a different range, the scroller, but I will be using a default pricing. I click next. Then I will have to set up my payout settings, where I will have to enter my Ethereum wallet address, which will be used to accept payments, which I will be earning during the bounty process. So currently we support two types of wallets. So first type of wallet is exchange wallet. We do support two exchanges only ATM. It's Bittrex and HitBTC deposit addresses. And the second way is to specifying your direct blockchain wallet address. So it might be, for example, MetaMask, it might be MyEther wallet, Exodus, and other ones. For demonstration purpose, I will be using a MetaMask wallet, which I will paste it here. I will not set my stake amount since staking is not really done on a testnet. It will be done on a mainnet. So at this point, we can leave it at 20 MYST. Yes, I will create password. And I will claim my node into my Mysterium network. In order to claim your node to my Mysterium network, you should be aware of your API token, which you can find on your profile page. Okay, then I click Save and Continue. And it's directing me to the actual screen where I can see that my identity is currently in the registration process. And it might take some time to register it in the network. Usually it takes up to 5 to 10 minutes. So we have to be patient and wait a bit. So our node has been successfully registered on Mysterium Network. It took around 3 minutes to complete that process. And now we are navigating through the Node UI screen, which is providing us all the necessary information about Node. So under the settings, you can find information such as node identity, beneficiary wallet address that you can change later on once you generate some MYST. It will require some small amount of MYST to cover blockchain transaction fees. You can also find Web UI security field that allows you to change your password and make it more complex. So it will be more difficult to brute force it. It also has an MM integration field with an actual API key. You can also find historical data, list of sessions, and the live sessions on the right side, which will show you live earnings, and it will show you live data, which is being processed through your node. And the main dashboard, which provides more detailed information like total earnings, sessions time, total data transferred, number of sessions, and the unique clients. You also have some information about Bounty Pilot, about the residential IP bounty and the total earnings, and the global IP bounty and total earnings, and the positions of your bounty during the bounty cycle. And monthly report, which provides a dynamic of your earnings, sessions, and data through the month. There is also a services field that provides data about currently active or inactive services. Since OpenVPN is disabled in new installations by default starting from 0.47, it will be disabled here, but you can enable it if you would like to. Just keep in mind that OpenVPN is not maintained anymore by our development team, and its service proposal is not listed in consumer applications. It basically means that if you enable it, nobody will use it, and you will just will require to spend additional time maintaining it and ensuring that it's accessible and monitoring API is able to access it. So it's not listing your node as inaccessible and who's assigning test failed status to your node. On the right side, there is WireGuard status information. So you can see a price per hour, price per gigabyte, and you can change it by restarting your node and rereading the configuration. You can also find a global service settings, which is an additional configuration that might be applied to your node. You can whitelist your node if you would like to. So that means that public identities would not be able to access your node, and your node would not be listed in consumer applications. So that means that only Mysterium verified identities would be able to access your node. So, and what's the verified identities? It's basically a Mysterium monitoring API, monitoring agent, which is doing daily checks 4 times a day to ensure that your node is accessible. And it's B2B partners. So it's Mysterium business partners that are verified, and you can be ensure that no any malicious traffic would pass through your node. And the second option is to limit your bandwidth to 5 megabit per second. So you can do that through the node UI. We can also check status of current registration status through Mysterium CLI. So for that, I will type again identities get, and I could see that the current registration status is registered. It does mean that my node was added into the network successfully. And I can also type proposals and check if my node identity is discoverable and if it's currently available in Discovery service. As you can see, it's returning that my identity is discoverable, and service type WireGuard is currently listening for active connections. So that does mean that we have successfully installed a node on Mysterium Network, and you can start generating traffic and earning MYST token. And so that's probably it.